Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you guys this really cute ornament that I made with Caden. I think it's just the perfect for either baby's first Christmas because it can be a keepsake to cherish the memory of that really cute little hand, or just an awesome gift or ornament that you can make with your toddler or child. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial and let's get started. To start off this DIY, there's a few things you're going to need. You're going to need half a cup of salt, 1 cup of flour, and 1/4 cup of water. You'll also need a straw, a sealant, either Mod Podge or a spray on glaze, some paintbrushes, some ribbons that hopefully don't look as hectic as mine do, and some acrylic paint. I have white, black, and red, and the orange I'm using to kind of mix with the white to make a peach. So if you have a peach, you can use that. Before we begin, we're going to preheat our oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we are going to mix our dry ingredients first. So 1 cup of flour and half a cup of salt. If you have a whisk, I guess you could use that, but I just have a fork, and a fork works just as well, and I'm just going to pre-mix that. Then once that is all mixed, we are going to slowly add the water. I just add a little bit and mix and a little bit and mix to make sure that I don't add too much water. Now once I've added all of the water, I do find it's easier to go in with your hands and just mix it that way. It's just a lot easier to knead it and make sure that everything is properly mixed. Now if you find the dough is still too dry, I find it best just to wet your hands and add a little water that way instead of actually going and pouring more water. I only wet my hands and then kneaded it again, and that was more than enough water for me, just to make sure you don't pour too much in and then the dough is too goopy. So once your dough is ready, you are going to put it on your pan and roll it out. Don't mind my makeshift rolling pin. I could not find mine, so yes, I used a round thermos, which isn't obviously the best, but yeah, you are just going to keep rolling it out until you get it to about, I don't know, this thick. You don't want it to be too thick because this will become heavy, and you obviously don't want it to weigh down the branches of your tree. So then we're going to grab our little helper and push their handprint into the dough. Now it might look like I'm pushing hard, but I am just gently pushing on every finger to make sure every finger is imprinted, and then one big push on the palm, and then gently pull it up. And as you can see, we've got a perfect little handprint. Then you're going to take a butter knife and you are going to cut around the handprint, leaving just a little edge around it. And I like to go also in between every finger. I just think it looks a lot cuter if it's really snug to the handprint. After I'd finished cutting around it, I just picked it up and gently used my finger to smooth out any of the edges so that they didn't look so rough and cut, and I just liked that finishing touch. And also, somehow I lost this clip, but after you've done this, you're going to take a straw and poke it at the top of the palm of the hand, if that makes sense, and use that to poke the hole that you're going to stick the ribbon through. Then I just stuck them in the oven, and I would check them every 30 minutes, flipping them from front to back for about 2 hours. So now that we are done that, we are ready to paint. First, I am going to paint them all white, and once they are dry on the one side, I am flipping them over, and I'm also going to paint them white on the back, and we're just gonna let that dry before we begin with anything else. Once that is dried, we're going to start painting on the details of Santa's face. So of course I mixed my white and orange to make a peach, and basically the shape I'm making is a bee, except for the straight line of the bee is wobbly for the fluff of Santa's hat. Then we're going to continue on and start painting the red of the hat, which is the top of the palm. And I'm just leaving the very tip of the thumb white because that will be the fuzzy ball of the hat, and then filling in the rest. So it should look something like this, and I'm just going to let that dry before I continue on with more detail. So once that's dry, you're just going to keep adding in more detail, doing the lines around the fluff, the eyes, a red nose, a mouth, and little details around the beard, whatever you like, until it ends up looking something like this. So once that's all finished, you're gonna want to seal in your design. So I'm just using a spray-on clear glaze. The reason you want to do this is to preserve it, and because it's like a baked item, you don't want bugs destroying it over time. So this will seal it in and give it a really beautiful shine to make it look like a really nice ornament. As you can tell, I also wrote Caden's name and the year on the back just to preserve that memory. And yeah, I'm just giving it a good spritz all along the front, the sides, etc. Then once that is finished, I'm just laying my little ornaments here to dry. So once that's dried, you're going to either use ribbon. I ended up using twine because I didn't have a nice ribbon and I didn't like the way it looked, and you're gonna hang it in your tree, and it's gonna look beautiful just like this one, and you preserve that memory and that handprint from that Christmas. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I would love to see pictures of your hand Santa Claus ornaments. I will talk to you all later. Thank you. Goodbye.